Team, what's up? In our last session, we talked about making better choices and 5 of the choices that we need to make on a daily basis. And yesterday, I mentioned that I want to expound on those 5 daily choices. So we're going to do that today. The first choice that we talked about was choosing to believe in yourself. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. If it can be done, you can do it. Before you can accomplish anything, you really have to believe that it can be accomplished by you. It's not enough to believe that it can be done. You have to believe that you're the one that can do it. No matter what your history tells you, no matter what obstacles you face, no matter how long it takes, you got to believe that you can do it. I want you to believe it so much that you can see it before it even happens. You need to be able to visualize yourself being, having, accomplishing, and doing everything you dream of right now, because if you can believe it, you can achieve it. You got to understand that you used to give up on yourself because you stopped believing. And I know it's going to be really hard for some of you because you've been down for so long and everything good seems so far away. But you have to start looking beyond your circumstances, past failures and mistakes, and start believing that you're about to do something amazing. Because when you start believing that there's more, that belief alone will help you find the strength to climb out of that valley that you've been stuck in for so long. So choose every day to believe in yourself, because you've made it this far and you didn't come this far just to come this far. Next, you have to choose to trust the process. Well, you might be saying to yourself, but I don't have a process. And my response to that is that you're in one now, and you're going to create your own personalized system later. So don't worry about what you don't have at this very moment, because right now we need to focus on changing your mindset before you can change your actions. So just stick with me and we'll get there. The process that we're talking about trusting is just another way to talk about your game plan. It's there to make sure that you have a formula to win. It's there to make sure that you stick with a plan no matter what the opposition throws your way. It's there to make sure that you're consistent, to keep you aligned, and to keep you focused on the goal. And you need a process because there's no straight line to success. You're going to deal with twists and turns, with ups and downs, with wins and losses. But if you start the journey with a game plan, you'll at least give yourself the best chance of winning. So choose to trust the process, because it's what's going to guide you past the doubt that you'll likely encounter on the way. It's going to ensure progress, and it's going to help you maintain momentum as you pursue your goals. Another huge part of the process is being accountable, which is the third choice we need to make on a daily basis. We have to choose to be accountable first to ourselves and what we said we're going to do, and then to the community that we've allowed to be a part of our journey. And I need you to hear me on this. For some of you, the community is going to be your X factor. Some of you are only going to stay faithful to the process because there are others holding you accountable. I got to say this too. Some of you are going to need the community more than others because you're not very good at doing things that you don't feel like doing. I got to say that one more time. Some of you are going to need the community more than others because you're not very good at doing things that you don't feel like doing. But you'll do them if there are people holding your feet to the fire. And that's why accountability has to be a part of your everyday process. Because one of the reasons some of you have been failing is because you've been doing everything alone and you just need people to help you do what you said you're going to do. Sometimes you're going to need that encouragement. Sometimes you're going to need to get picked up when you fall. Sometimes you'll need to be pushed. You might even need to get checked every now and then. And that's okay. There's a lot of people out there, and I'm one of them, who will let themselves down before they let others down. So if you're like me, you have to have people around you who will help you maintain your promises to yourself. On the other hand, some of you are self-starters, are much better at holding yourself accountable and don't need so many eyes on you like people like me. But even if you don't need it as much, being accountable to the community will help you stick with your plan and help you stay on track. So whichever category you find yourself in, the point is to create an environment where you have the best chance of being successful. And that's why you need to be accountable. So choose every day to be accountable. Next, you have to choose not to make excuses. And I need you to hear me on this one. Although I'm telling you that you have to choose not to make excuses, you're going to need to make that choice every day because there are excuses. And some of you might have some really good ones. When the pandemic hit us in 2020, literally tens of millions of people lost their jobs. Some lost businesses. Some lost their health. Some people lost everything. And unfortunately, millions of people lost their lives. But knowing that, you still had people out there saying that there weren't any excuses, and excuses are for weak-minded people. And personally, I think that's crazy. I don't understand how people will deny that sometimes forces outside of our control keep us from getting what we want, because it happens to people all the time. The reason the saying life isn't fair is so widely accepted is because it isn't. Sometimes you just won't have any say on how things turn out no matter what you do, because sometimes life isn't fair. With that being said, there's no reason to deny that there are legitimate excuses, because there are some. You simply have to choose not to use them, because making excuses won't help anything. So it doesn't even matter if you feel like you have a good excuse or not, because we're not here to explain why things didn't happen. We're here to figure out how to make them happen. You have to take responsibility for every aspect of your life because it's yours. And if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. So you have to decide every day not to make any excuses, because some of you actually have some legitimate excuses as to why you're not where you want to be. But if you give your power away to those excuses, you'll never get there. So as far as I'm concerned, the only acceptable response to the setbacks that you already experienced and the setbacks that you're going to experience are the solutions that you come up with to set yourself back up for your comeback. We're here to solve problems, not to use our problems as excuses. So even though I realize that there are legitimate excuses, and don't think for 1 minute that I don't understand and feel for people as they do their best to deal with life's hardships, because believe me, I get it. But if we're going to get where we want to be, our job has to be to take responsibility and find solutions so that we can move forward, because excuses never helped anybody find success, but they did help people find failure. So choose not to make any excuses, because our only job is to find solutions. Lastly, you have to choose to make sacrifices. When you make a sacrifice, it means that you're willing to lose something valuable to gain something even more valuable. So as you go through this course, you need to ask yourself, what thing of value are you willing to or need to give up to get what you want? It could be a bad habit that takes too much of your time, a relationship that's taking a toll on your mental health, a belief system that's holding you back. Watch this now. It could even be something good that you need to give up for a season so that you can give your full attention to your goals. Because here's the truth. No one does anything great without first counting the cost and determining what they have to give up to get it done. Because if it's really worth anything, it's going to cost you something. The greater the reward, the greater the sacrifice. And look, the sacrifice might cause you pain in the beginning, but the pain in the beginning will all be worth it in the end. So listen, team, in order for us to foresee success, we all have to make choices. And we can start by believing in ourselves, trusting the process, being accountable, not making excuses, and making the sacrifices. Everything starts with a choice. So let's make some good ones. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.